You either die the hero or see yourself become the villain. Seen too many dark nights and like the way you're living. It got me living. The plot is vivid in the blast conditions. It's like you hopeless at the bar. Get a shot to giving. Neighbors not complicit. I can't blame them though. Remember as a youngin', I rep Detroit on my favorite coat. For around the hood, the kind that was only made for snow. Man's caught me slipping, he tripping over a radio. I was running track with the homies, I didn't know what to say because I thought he was joking. Behind his back he held a gauge, he decided to show me. In the midst of broad day, all out in the open. I was only 13, but it's relevant. The price on life, but negligent in their ways. Forget a slippery slope, it's a precipice that you face. And the president set the precedent, evident by your faith. For that cream, living in that fairy tale American dream. Kill it when you walking with a gangster lean. Even though you know they go, they all it seems. What you mean, what you doing for that cream? Living in that fairy tale American dream. Kill it when you walking with that gangster lean. We in between those kings and queens in the city of schemes.
In the city they scheme.
I can still remember Kwame, only thing that he taught me. City government's busted, causing a kamikaze. Crime waves like tsunamis, they say they serving that white. Chopping bricks like karate. What's the prices for your vices? The sacrifices that you lie with every night. And sold your soul to that rock, you Jimi Hendrix when your life ends. If you ask me, man, I couldn't do it. Unity and community barely move as a unit. Unless you talking in decimals, everybody will tune in. I never moved to that music, you never see me approve it. So sorry if I'm not to that standard, I'm goody two shoes. Pay expenses at someone's expense. Some families fiends, so how are they making they rent? Placing a bet for the rush of some luck, but it was something more like Russian roulette, and it got me upset. Living in that fairy tale American dream. Kill it when you walking with that gangster lean. Even though you know they go, they all it seems. What you mean, what you doing for that cream? Living in that fairy tale American dream. Kill it when you walking with that gangster lean. We in between those kings and...
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the El Niño podcast. I'm Eladio Niño, and this is Real Everyday People. As always, I want to thank everybody who's been sharing, subscribing, supporting. I appreciate you guys. I'm really grateful for all those who support me. I went to Rouge Days this weekend at Memorial Park over there on Jefferson. Had a blast. It was really nice. Had me some elephant ears. I tried a funnel cake for the first time. Loved it. I went with the family. It was just, it's always a good time. Also, yesterday was 9/11, so I always want to remember those who lost their lives, to 9/11. Also, I just buried my uncle, Raymond Romero, this past week as well. God rest his soul. That's the third uncle I've lost in the past year. So, my family's just been, catching it one after another. But, we're still, holding each other down. So, my heart and prayers go out to all those who have lost somebody, lost a loved one, to any circumstance. But today, got a special guest. Definitely, she came to bless the studio with her presence, with her knowledge. She's here to share her journey with us. And her name is Debbie Sanchez, also known as the Queen of Lowriders.
Thank you.
How you doing, Debbie? Let them know who you
good,
are, what it
good.
is, and what it ain't.
And I can do that. I'm Debbie Sanchez, born and raised in Southwest Detroit. Been in the lowrider game for 27 years and counting. Making a film, Queen of the Lowriders. You can go onto YouTube and search Queen of the Lowriders. You can see the trailers. You see my car. I have a 79 Regal with hydraulics. And I love what I do, and I love who I am.
That's dope. That's dope. I see you came dressed to impress.
Yes,
you came
always.
with the zoot suit on. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. I love it.
I got to represent the culture. The lowriders, a lot of people don't understand the lowrider culture. They think, over the years it's been, the lowriders are gangbangers and drug dealers, and that's not the case. We're family people, family oriented, and we have jobs and spouses and girlfriends and children, and the lowrider culture is very elite, but it's also very private. That's why a lot of people don't know about the culture that much. But I want the film, when it's done, to show the world who the lowriders are. That's what I want.
dope.
Yeah.
So do you have an actual lowrider club, or?
I started Dreams to Reality about 25 years ago, and it's kind of dormant right now because I haven't had time to recruit members. I haven't had time to do anything, and my car is down because I took it apart and had to redo it because it is from California, and it has no interior in it right now. So it's a work in progress, but I don't have, I have to work and take care of myself because I don't have the spouse or significant other to lean on. I have to do everything myself. So it's going to take a little bit more time, but I'll get it.
Even the mechanic work you do on your own?
Oh, yeah, we can. Yeah, I do.
Wow, that's crazy. Who taught you how to do that?
I've been in the automotive industry forever. I love cars, and my producer, when he first met me, I told him that I had no problem popping the hood and doing whatever I needed to do to my car, and he laughed because he saw my nails and he saw my purple hair, and he was like, "She's talking shit," and I was like, "No, I'm not." And he got footage of me under my car. I was literally underneath it. He got footage.
Wow, that's very impressive, for real.
Yeah, I don't mind getting dirty.
You know more than me, You open up that hood, I ain't gonna know what to look at,
Yeah.
I might be able to put some windshield wiper fluid up in there, pump some gas, but that's about it. If I hear a clicking or a grinding, I just turn the radio on because I don't know what the hell it is. I always go to my boy Paul Celadon, man. Mm-hmm. Shout out to my man Paul, man. That's my handyman, that's my mechanic. I pull up on you, man. I hear a noise. Tell me what it is, man.
Yeah, my lowrider brothers, they help me. We all get together, and we just talked about this a couple of weeks ago at one of the shows, and we were going to try to get the lowrider family together over the winter, because we're dormant, and do somebody's garage a week, and go work on the cars together, as one. So I think that's what we're going to try to implement, after the season's done, because our season's done because of the cold, usually in October, the end of October, towards middle to the end of October, and then it starts up again in April, May, the following, and when it comes spring. So we've got a few months to be doing nothing but working on the cars.
Well, that's a good idea. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Right.
I guess it's just really never ending because, you're always adding, you're always improving your cars, your engines, your performance, your, the interior, the exterior, paint jobs, designs. Right. There's so much time, work, and energy that goes into the stuff. You know what I mean? I personally never had a lowrider, but I've been in a couple, and it's cool. It's cool. I like it.
It is.
I just never really understood how lowriders could function in Detroit with all the potholes that we got in here.
Low and slow. You got to ride low and slow.
Because I'm like, man, literally, our potholes are like ditches around here. You better know where the potholes are in the hood, because if not, your shit gonna be leaning. It's not because it got hydraulics either.
Right. Yeah, the lowriders are. They do. When we cruise, every Friday, all summer long, we've been meeting in Southwest on Friday night. It's called Friday Night Flex, and it was started by Ruben. I'm not going to say his last name because I can't. His name is really long, and so he pronounced it for me, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. But he's in the military, and he was lowriding out in San Diego, I think he said, and is where he's from, and he's been doing it since he was young, and he's got a beastly roads. It's a '66 Impala. And it's beautiful. He's won awards for it here, and but it breaks all the time. Lowriders break all the time. They do not.
I bet.
There's something wrong all the time, and they're never done. You always invest money. You think one of my friends asked when I first got my car from California. One of my friends asked another friend of mine, how much am I going to be coming out of this? And they say, keep your wallet open because you're never done. Never done.
Yeah, cars in general are like that, but more so when you customize and personalize your cars, you're definitely gonna come out of pocket for that stuff. But they do some awesome work. I've seen some awesome airbrushing, just going to lowrider shows. I remember I went to the DIA,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and they had a lowrider show, and it was outside. It was sweet, but just seeing all the interior, the creativity, like it's really dope. I love it. So where did the lowrider culture start? Where did it begin? I'm gonna assume it started in Cali.
Yeah, it did. Because I'm making the film, and because I've been so invested in part of the culture for so many years, I've done a lot of research on it so that when I speak about it, somebody will say, "Oh, I don't believe her," and they'll Google it and look it up, and it's fact. So I've done a lot of research. I traced it back to early to mid 30s, and they used to put sandbags in we call them bombs, like in the 40s, 40s, 1940s car. Some people call them bubble cars. I don't know.
Oh yeah, bombers.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
what you're
yeah.
talking
And
about. The bomberos.
yeah, we call them bombas.
Bombas. That's what it was.
Yeah,
I said
bombas.
bomberos.
Yeah.
Bomberos are firemen. The bombas. Yeah, you're
Bombas,
right.
yeah. And they used to put sandbags to lower them, and that was before hydraulics were in play. And there's a thing called the Zoot Suit riots. People need to research that and read up on the Zoot Suit riots, because there was sacrifices made for this culture. The servicemen were making fun of the Chicanos, their cars and the way they dressed in the Zoot Suits, and their women, the way they dressed. And there was riots over in San Diego back in the 40s for the culture, and some of the Chicanos lost their lives defending what they believed in. So it's the lowrider culture is it's got a rich history, and I think more people need to research it and learn what it is and what sacrifices were made for it. Because you cannot buy somebody else's build. You buy a lowrider already put together, and that makes you a lowrider. That doesn't. The blood, sweat, and tears, and the money, and the sleepless nights all night in the garage, that's what makes you a lowrider.
Okay. So it's a commitment.
Yes.
It's a commitment. It's a lifestyle.
Yep.
It's a
a
culture.
passion. It's a passion. Yeah.
It's all that good stuff, and it has taken a life of its own. And
Yes.
it pretty much lowrider life has pretty much reached every part, of the states, even of the world.
Oh, the world, yeah.
Internationally, there's people a little bit of everywhere who embrace the lowrider culture.
They do. I have a lot of lowriders around the world on my social media, and when I go out to shows and I do my live feeds, they get to see the culture here, and I love that, because I see that they're liking it and they're watching it, and they see what we do here, which is awesome.
No doubt. I love it because, it took a while for the culture to really catch up to Detroit. Because, I used to live in East Los Angeles. I used to live in Chicago. So, I was already exposed to all the cultural practices. I mean, from selling paletas to elotes to taco trucks to lowriders. And I always wondered, how come, it's not in Detroit like that? How come we're not practicing the culture? And then I went away for 17 years, and then I come back, and it's here. Everything is here.
Yeah.
And I was so happy. And I was so proud, because, Detroit has always been influenced by black culture and black people. They're predominant in Detroit, and, in Southwest, we embrace, the black culture, the black people. We're a melting pot,
Right.
But it was just nice, though. It is nice, to really see, our younger generation being more educated to, Latino and Mexican culture, and, understanding the history, the art that comes with it, the art that tells the story of our ancestors, and just the history of, all that type of stuff, man. So
Yeah, but this is what I like about the lowrider culture. It's very diverse. There's everybody that wants to, can afford it because it's expensive, but, that they it doesn't matter what color your skin is, as long as you ride, you love what you do, you love the culture, and we're all one, even the women. There's very few women that do this. That's why we're making the film Queen of the Lowriders, because it's going to show the culture, and it's going to show the women's role in the culture.
that's dope.
Thanks.
Because, most men, when I was on the inside, that's how I entertained myself. I looked at lowrider magazines. I loved it. But really, the part that the women played were, posing in front of the cars
Mm-hmm.
and all that type of stuff. So you think that that's the woman's role in the lowrider life.
No, it's
But
not.
clearly it's not.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
There's only about 3 women here. Myself, my daughter Olivia, and April. April has I want to say a 79 El Camino. Olivia has a 55 Bel Air, and I have the 79 Regal. In the state of Michigan, we're probably the only 3. You can count.
That Bel Air, is that the one that you guys brought to the DHDC?
Yeah, the black and white
that
one.
boy is
Yeah.
nice.
Her car is beautiful.
I like
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that boy is nice.
Yeah, April just got hers out of paint, and hers is real nice. It's pink, and she's got patterns on it, and her daughter has autism, and she put something about autism on the back of it.
I seen that. Yeah, I seen that. I thought that was great.
Yeah, yeah, because she support her daughter's awesome. She graduated and she's got a job and she has autism and she's doing great.
So you've passed on this culture to your daughters, to your family. They embrace it. They grew up with it.
Yeah.
They love it. No, that's dope. That's dope. Like, I love where women are today in life, man. Like, they have evolved so much. Like, they demanded equality. You know what I'm saying? And they got it. Women are in charge. They running things. They doing things. You know what I'm saying? And I love it. I'm embracing it. I was raised by a single mother.
Yep.
I've always had the utmost respect, for women. And I just love to see, them taking their place in this world. You know
Thank
what
you.
I'm saying?
Yeah, that's great.
And it's very empowering. It's very inspiring, and I love that the each one teach one theory. You passing it on, generational, to your family, because for so many years, for so many generations, the only thing that we've ever passed on to our kids was baggage of trauma and headaches and stress and all the shit that comes with living in the neighborhood, and violence, domestic violence, and sex abuse, and drug abuse, and alcohol abuse, and life abuse, just everything. We grow up like hound dogs. You know what I mean? But it's just nice to see everybody thrive, and even Southwest Fest. I talk about it with a lot of friends of mine who are my age that grew up in the '80s and '90s. And they're so amazed because they're like, we never would have been able to do this, growing up in the 80s, 90s, to see that kind of unity and support and diversity. You know what I mean? Because, we tried, we had our little carnivals, festivals at Clark Park, Holy Redeemer, Hart Plaza, and, all those privileges were taken because we didn't know how to act.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And,
Right.
it was always, everything was gang related. We was always there looking for trouble, looking for, beefing with other gangs and stuff like that. And now it's like, you have so many people that are creative, they're selling, they're creating, they're painting, they're vendoring, they're entertaining, they're singing, they're dancing, they're rapping. I'm like, oh man, like, this is beautiful. Like, I've never been more proud of my community than I am today.
Yes, 100%.
And not only that, but coming from after 17 years of being in prison, coming home and being able to just fall right in line with everybody else. Even at my age, like they respect me, they embrace me, they accept me, they invite me, they support me, and vice versa.
That's awesome. And see, I did that. Like, there's a lot of young people that I kind of took under my wing all the years that I've been low riding in Southwest. They were interested in bikes, and there was this one bike club. They were pretty strong. They had a lot of members, a royalty bike club back in the day. And one of them is Tony Lopez and Lalo. They own Lopez Tire now, and they're all grown up and married with kids. And I've watched these kids, and I tried to keep them close. When we were out at shows, or we rode in parades in Southwest, 4th of July, Cinco de Mayo. Come on, get your bike and come ride next to the lowriders. Because I wanted these kids with me, as opposed to being off on the street, in the streets, doing stuff they don't need to be doing. And I used to hold breakdance competitions back in the day, and I just found out recently that I'm a legend in the b-boy community, and I didn't know that.
Okay, then.
I didn't know that. But I just love the community, and I love the children. They're mine. They were always mine. Even though they're grown up, they'll always be mine. And I, my house, they were always at my house, and never judged them. I'm not going to let you get away with nothing, but, I wanted them to embrace the culture, our culture, and be proud of who you are, and ride with the lowriders. And they did over the years. And, parades and stuff. They used to have something at Hart Plaza back in the day for the festivals, and we had the bikes there.
So I just ran into a friend of mine, Tom from River Rouge. He has a lowrider, and
Yeah,
he said
Tom,
they actually
yeah.
had a lowrider show over there on Jefferson on Sunday, I believe, yesterday. And I hate that I missed it, but I catch him a lot. Sometimes when I'm working with C Spire in Greektown, I see him coming through with his lowrider. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Tom. I've known Tom for a long time. He's a good guy.
So my cousin Javi, like the first time I was up close and personal with like an actual lowrider bike, my cousin Javi, he used to work at a lowrider shop. It used to be right there on like Michigan and Cecil, next to Church's
Lowrider
Chicken.
Boulevard. Boulevard. Yeah.
And he used to work there. Got himself a lowrider bike. I thought it was the coolest stuff in the world.
Yeah, the lowriders used to be big in Southwest. Southwest has always been the hub for the lowriders. I don't know why, but it always has been. I've heard people refer to Southwest as Little LA. I don't know. I don't know, but there was a lot of car clubs back in the day. There was Dreams, there was La Buena Vida,
Outcast, right?
Outcast, yeah, and there was Stereotype, and because they used to have a shop right there on Lawndale and Verner where they installed hydraulics and stuff, and
Okay.
and it was funny because I used to live on Woodmere and Sharon, and when there was a show or something, everybody meet at my house and we shut the block down. There was lowrider bikes everywhere, and those were the days, man. Those were the days.
So
It
I
was
know they're
good times.
developing in front of the train station at Park, but prior to them like fencing everything off so they could work on the park, like I had recently seen like multiple lowrider cars like lined up along that way.
Yeah, that was where Friday Night Flex was. And then they shut it
Okay.
down.
What is it
They
called?
started
Cork
doing.
and Gable, that place on the corner, Cork and Gable.
Yeah, and they shut it down because they had to redo the streets and stuff. So then we moved it to, by the Welcome Center on Bagley, behind the Secretary of
Oh,
State.
okay, behind the Secretary of State.
And we moved it over there. Ruben and Olivia did, and then they got. Now I think they're going to move it to. We only got a few weeks left anyway for this year for Friday Night Flex because it's going to get cold. They're going to move it to Military and West Verner. There's a good taco truck there, and by E&L we can park in E&L's parking lot because they're closed. So the lowriders can park there. So I think that's where they're going to do it. I'm not 100%, but that's what the vibe is.
That's so cool. And honestly, like exploring even in the neighborhood today to see like all these beautiful murals
Oh yeah.
that are all over the neighborhood, and E&L has very beautiful murals, on their building. Is that their building? That's in their parking lot, I know, but
I don't know.
I
if
think
that's
the
their
building is like a bakery or something.
Yeah, Hacienda or Tortilla. I don't know.
But all throughout the whole neighborhood, man. I especially love the one that's right there on like Junction and just before Verner. It's like it shows the Mexican with the heart. He's got his heart,
yeah.
and you can see it through his shirt. Like,
Yeah.
I just love it, man.
There's one with a couple of lowriders from the neighborhood on Central and Verner.
Oh, I seen
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That is really dope. Right
Yeah.
next to the gas station.
Yeah, yeah.
Yup.
Yeah, I just met this lady yesterday. I was in Novi at a Good Times car show, and they did a nice show. They had good food, and it was really, really a nice show. Except the rain got us. And I met this lady, Jennifer Beagle, I think is her last name. Said she was riding by. I saw her taking pictures of the lowriders, and I said, I thought she was working for a magazine or a paper or something. And I asked her, I said, "Who are you taking pictures for?" And she said, "I'm a freelance photographer." And she said, "I'm from SoCal." And she said, "Me and my husband or boyfriend were passing by, and I saw the lowriders here, and I told him to take me home and so I could get my camera." She said, "Since I've been here, I have never seen that many lowriders in one place." So she was living it up.
Wow.
Yeah, she was happy. And I told her, I said, "I'll show you more."
Shout out to my man Carlos Cabrera and the Hustle Link tattoo. I mean, he got his thing going. I've seen a couple of his low riders. We were in a Ober Roland and Sada Baby video in Del Rey, and he brought the whole squad out with them. So it was nice seeing all them low riders in there. I'm still yet to see a a lowrider taco truck and a lowrider ice cream truck, you know.
Yeah.
So I'll be waiting on that. You know?
Yeah. And see, this is the thing too. When the very few people that do know about lowriders, they always refer to the West Coast, and that's fine because that's the motherland. That's where it started. But the lowrider culture is alive and well in Michigan and in the entire Midwest, and it's bigger than people think. It really
Yep.
is.
Carlos just mentioned that they were in Pontiac recently, and I know you talked about either they are or they're going to Jackson.
Yeah, yeah. We're
Jackson,
supposed to go to
Michigan.
Jackson, and if you lowriders are listening, get your stuff ready for Jackson on Saturday. This girl, somebody found my website in Jackson, and they contacted me through my website, and they were told that I was the one to get the lowriders there because they're doing their first Latin festival on September 17th
Wow, in Jackson.
in Jackson.
I went. I mean, I've been to Jackson because I've been to like 3 prisons in Jackson. You know.
That doesn't count. You weren't in Jackson; you were living in Jackson.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I lived in a thug mansion. That's where I was staying at.
Yeah, I talked to this lady.
But I didn't know if they had a Latino population out there, though.
They do, from what I'm understanding. I don't know how big it is, but I guess we'll find out. They wanted to accommodate the lowrider culture. The lowriders, if the lowriders come, they wanted to make it worth their while. They want to provide food for them. And they said, I was talking to this man via email, but he said, some kind of awards. I said, well, the lowriders like trophies. And he said, yeah, we can do that. And they asked the categories. And I said, just do people's choice and kids' choice, and that way it's honest. And because these people don't know what they're looking for as detailed as judges do. So, it would be easier for them to, hey, I like this car and, that's my favorite. And, to me, it's more fair that way.
So how do they vote? How would you vote for a car? Do you guys have boxes?
Well, they would, like everyone would get a registration form, and
Okay.
the number would be, they would give them a number, and then whoever votes, they would write down the number of the car, that little paper, they would write down the number. And, like say if your car was there and it was number 2, then they would vote number 2. They would have no idea who you are. They just like your car.
Oh, okay.
And kids' choice is the same way. They, whichever one they probably, depending on the age of the kids, they would probably do, well, I like that red one, or I like that white one, or, something like that. So
Do you guys get involved in the auto shows?
we did, I did actually. I met this guy from the Autorama in 2018. And he asked me if I would be interested in hosting an event there. And I did. 2019, the end of February, early March. It was the first annual Lowrider Invitational exhibit in the Autorama. And 20 of my Lowrider family my brothers came out and posted up. And we got national attention on that event. We got mega media coverage on it because the Autorama is a hot rod show, and the lowriders have been there over the years, but they've never had an exhibit for just the lowriders.
Okay.
And no woman had ever hosted it, so I kind of made history.
That's dope.
And so I found out like a year later that USA Today did a story on the event, and I had no idea.
Wow, for real?
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. And
Do you have a copy of the article?
my daughter does, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's been saving all the stuff. Metro Times did a full page story on it, the event.
That's part of your legacy.
Yeah, and my
Like a
daughter,
portfolio.
yeah, my daughter's keeping track of all the media coverage and stuff, and to have it for me, when, because I've got things that I'm doing, and I just, everything that I do is for the lowrider community. It's not for me personally. I'm not here to talk. I talk about the culture because that's what I love. I love the culture, and I can't wait to get my car done so that I can be out with them the right way. But I still go and support regardless, and I always have.
And I know you show lots of love to the DHDC.
I love the
You come through,
DHDC.
you make a lot of, contributions, donations, for the kids. And, we definitely appreciate that. And,
Thank you.
And so do they. You have a very kind heart. Like,
Thank you.
From the minute I posted on my story on Facebook, about, the flyer for you, being my guest on the podcast. Like, I got so many positive feedback. Like, everybody was like, "Oh man, she's an OG. She's a real one. Like, I can't wait. I'm gonna tune in. And all that good stuff." So,
Thank you.
It's nice, to see that, and to see, a woman, taking care of her business, and because I mean, back in the days, it was a man's world.
Yeah.
And lowriders and all, so it's just nice to know that you can roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty right with the best of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who introduced you to the lowrider culture? Like, how did you get into cars?
Well, my dad, retired from General Motors, and we've always been car people, my family, and then I've always known about lowriders, but life happened. Got married, had kids, got divorced, got remarried, and finished raising my kids, my daughters, and then my husband died. And my husband was not a lowrider, but he supported what I did. He went to shows with me sometimes, and if he didn't want to go, he never stopped me from going. And he actually bought me my first lowrider, and then he passed away 7 years ago, and I don't have, like I said, thanks. I don't have that support system anymore, but I'm going to do it on my own, and I'm going to be okay. I know I will.
Well, you got your daughters. They got your back. They're there for you, and you have a community of people who care about you, who see you, and, who support you and admire you. And,
thanks.
You just don't know how many people you actually inspire.
Thank you. Yeah. I do it for love, because the culture is so misunderstood, and sometimes I have to get kind of rough, and get abrasive, but it's to keep my respect and for people to understand this, how you're either gonna lowride or you're not. You know what I mean? That's the way that it should be. You don't need to be flying around all over and doing all this stuff. The culture is low and slow. And the reason that we do low and slow is so people can admire. And I've had people over the years, well, what do you get out of it? When I pull up to a light, you're next to me and you got your truck, and I got the lowrider and I hit the switch, all eyes on me, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's what I get out of it. I get attention. The lowriders get attention wherever they go. They could be driving wherever. They like to go downtown, like after Flex, they'll go downtown and cruise, and people just stop. They pull out their phones. They draw attention wherever they go, because they're beautiful cars. There's a lot of hard work put into them and dedication, and that's all that they get out of it, is the attention. And that's really all it is.
The airbrushing jobs, the paint jobs on the car, the flakes, the everything. I'm like, there's so many layers of creativity that's invested in some of these lowrider cars. And my boy Javi, he bought a lowrider car, and he's already dumping money into that thing. Like you said, it's a cash tub, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, if you got it, we've talked to people at shows and stuff, and they were like,
"How much?" I don't think he realized what he was getting himself, that money pit he was getting into.
We've talked to people at shows and stuff, and they come up, admiring the cars, and, well, how much does it cost to get a lowrider? If you got to ask, you don't need to, because there is no price on it. There is no price on it. It's just it's going to cost you money. And
how many lowrider guys actually do their own work, or do they have mechanics that do it?
No, they all do their own work. Like if there's something that they don't know, or there's something they got stuck on, they'll call one of the other lowriders, and they'll come. They all work together. This is what I mean by, we're all one, because, I can call any of my lowrider brothers and say, hey, I want to start working on a Regal, let's do this, and they'll be over there. And there's never any money exchanged. We don't pay each other for helping. We're family, you know what I mean? And that's what I love about this culture.
Okay. Shout out to my man Paul Inman. He's out there in Arizona. He's part of a lowrider club too, Maricopa, I think. Maricopa something.
Okay.
But yeah, he does his thing too. He's into the low riders. He's like the only white guy in the whole crew. You know what I'm
But see,
saying?
no, but that's
he blends
it.
right
Yeah.
in at the same time.
Yeah,
You know?
there's black guys that have lowriders. There's white guys that have lowriders. There's Arabic guys that have lowriders. I mean, it
I have
doesn't
yet
matter.
to see an Arabic guy in a
Oh,
low
there's
rider.
one. Yeah, there's one. He was just there yesterday. His name is Faraz, and everybody calls him 20. He's with Majestics Car
Okay.
Club, and he's got a '63 Impala, red rims, everything, and he was gas hopping down whatever road we were on yesterday. So yeah, but we don't look at that. You know, we're all, just brothers and sisters. That's what we are.
Mm-hmm.
When we go
That's
out to
dope.
shows, everybody cooks, you come and eat, and it's not like, oh, I just brought this for my family. We brought it for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You want a beer? Okay. So it's just, the community is so, it's so virgin. So, I mean, nobody knows about it. It's an untouched culture.
How hard or easy is it for people to be committed, to the lowrider lifestyle? And what is the criteria or the requirement for somebody to join a lowrider club?
Well, there's a lot of solo riders and there's clubs. Every club has different criteria. Like some of the bigger car clubs, the worldwide ones you got to have all chrome undies. That means everything on the undercarriage is chrome. And if everything is not chrome, you can't be part of the club.
Wow.
There's certain clubs that will not let you put a plaque in with the club. You won't get plaqued if it's a Ford. I mean, it depends on the club.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
yeah.
crazy.
And there's some car clubs that will not allow women in the clubs either.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's just.
Have you ever been denied?
That's why I started Dreams, because I didn't like the politics of clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Dreams to Reality, I started it 25 years ago. I founded it, and like I said, it's a little bit dormant right now because I didn't have time to get out and recruit and build it back up. But I don't like the politics because I figured it like this. It's my car. I'm going to pay for what I'm going to pay for, and I don't want anybody telling me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I did it. That's fine. People telling you what to do and what you can do with your car and how you're going to do it, that's fine for whomever. But for me, it was not, and I will never criticize or look down on anyone for doing their thing. It's just, I'm speaking on myself. I didn't like the politics of clubs, so I started my own. And you didn't have to have hydraulics to come in my club. As long as your car was nice and you liked to ride and parades and stuff, that was good enough for me.
Okay, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last parade that you guys have been to?
We haven't been to a parade for a while. I haven't. I
Okay.
haven't been to a parade for a while because there's really not the Cinco de Mayo. They'll post up somewhere, but it's too long. No, actually, I rode in the Cinco de Mayo parade a couple years ago with one of the lowriders, and it was long and hot, and the old schools can't handle that.
This year's Cinco de Mayo was the absolute most amazing Cinco de Mayo parade I had ever seen on Werner. There were the whole community came out. I mean, from beginning to end. We were over there on Werner and Mullane, and we went all the way to, I think, West Grand Boulevard and Werner. And I mean, people were lined up. Me and my brother, me and my family, we were in the parade. I was, of course, promoting my podcast. We had Ceasefire there. My brother had the LA landscaping. My sister-in-law had Babe Cave downriver. And I mean, and then we brought our friends, Danny Reyna. They brought all their construction equipment on big trailers. Like,
That's
it was
cool.
just amazing. And just to see, like, everybody out there having fun, just united, supporting, happy. I was like, man, I almost got emotional, you know what I'm saying? Just because I had never seen it like that before.
Well, see, a lot of these people from Southwest, they don't have a lot, and something like that they really look forward to it, and because they can't go to other places or they don't want to go to other places, look at parades, and it's in the neighborhood, and it's a big deal to them, so they're going to come out. And they always have. Cinco de Mayo's always been a big parade in Southwest.
And you know, our community, you know, we come from an undocumented population. So, you know, a lot of our people, you know, they don't get out much, you know what I'm saying? They move in the shadows, stay out of the way, you know, they work and they go home and take care of their families. So, you know, for them to be able to get out and support, you know, it had to have some meaning, some purpose
Right.
for them, you know, because every time, you know, people who are undocumented, they go outside and leave their house. You know, they're taking a risk, even just going to the doctor's office or going to the grocery store. They're taking a risk. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? All
100%.
it takes is, you know, one bad turn, not using your turn signal, or just a car accident, anything that can happen and change your life.
Yes.
You know, when I came home, my aunt and uncle were deported, and all my cousins were left behind to fend for themselves. You know,
That's sad.
You know, but clearly, you know, that day, you know, everybody was standing tall. Everybody was very supportive, and you just seen the joy in everybody, and it just felt so good. It was so powerful, and it was just so beautiful. I was so proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, what part of the neighborhood did you grow up at, Debbie?
Everywhere. Oh my gosh. Growing up, I moved. My mom moved a lot, but I was right on Woodmere and Sharon for like 25 years, and
Okay.
I was there with my husband, and that's where everybody went, you know, to my house. And I used to teach the quinceañera waltz, and some of the kids would be dropped off at my house and ride with me to practice, and you know, I used to do that, and I love the kids. I mean, I always have, and I try to get. The reason I did the breakdance competitions was because I wanted to bring the break dancers and the lowriders together, because
Were
they
you
belong to.
breakdancing too?
No,
You wasn't pop locking or nothing?
no. I
Shout
just
out to the Motor City Street Dance Academy.
Yeah.
The boys, they be doing their thing.
Yeah, Mav was the one that I went to a cipher, and he brought me out, called me out, and you know, when the these new generation of break dancers came out, you know, when they took a break, and he introduced me, and these young people knew who I was because of what I did back in the day. And thank you for supporting the cause back in the day. And I was like, well, you know, Comcast came out and did an interview about the elemental breakdown, and you know, because we brought all the elements of hip hop together 22 years ago, and that was the biggest event that I did, and we got a lot of coverage on that, and there was no social media at that time, so
Okay.
it was a good thing. You know, it was a really good thing, and I loved, you know, I love the break dancers. I love the music. I like to, you know, like to go to ciphers and just watch them. You know, it's. I could never do that, but they're amazing. These young people are so amazing when they break dance. I love it, and the music is like no other. You know, it really is.
I mean, they come up to the DHDC. They work with the youth, show the youth, you know, all kinds of dance moves, and you know, it's really nice. You know what I'm saying, to see people being proactive and investing in the youth. You know, they are the future, and
Yes,
then
100%.
teaching them things that are positive. You know, me growing up, everybody was teaching me how to weigh coke, snort coke, break down pounds of weed, and give me guns, and you know, that's what they was teaching me. You know,
Right.
and so it's nice just to see that, you know, our people, you know, are changing. You know, the what do you call it? Not the scenario, but the narrative. Yes, there we go. The narrative. You know, and it just makes the community and the culture that much more beautiful.
Oh, 100%.
You
yeah.
know, because there was such a blemish on our community and our people and our culture for so long.
Yes.
You know, but eventually, you know, it has just thrived.
Yes.
You know, and it's continuously thriving, and it's continuously multiplying and spreading, and I always thought that networking was going to be able to take us to the next level. So many people from Detroit never dealt with anybody outside of Detroit,
Right.
and now you're networking with Holland, Muskegon, Grand Rapids, with Flint, with Pontiac, with Saginaw, with Bay City. Like, you know, that's what it's really about. You know what I mean?
And honestly, the lowrider culture is big in Saginaw. It's big in Flint. It's big in Holland. There's the lowrider culture is you have no idea how big it is. You have no idea. It's huge. If we could get all the lowriders like in a stadium somewhere from the state of Michigan, you'd be blown away. You'd be
I
blown
think
away.
we can, you know,
It's a
with
thought.
the way that things are
It's a thought.
today, and we got so many people, you know, who are in political positions,
Mm-hmm.
you know, from our community, who were born, who were raised. We got people like David Sanchez. We got people like Hector Santiago, Eva Torres, Gabriela Santiago Romero. Like, I am so proud, you know, that all these people are in a position speaking on behalf of the needs and the wants of the population in our community, the Latino people, like all that good stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they like I said, the lowriders, they would fill a stadium here in Michigan. The culture, it would. And if we could make that happen, we need to do that. That would be dope.
I'm telling you, man, we're not far from it, you know.
Get them all from the state of Michigan to come down and you know, for this event. I think it would be good. It would be good. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, now I really believe that, you know, all things are possible just because, you know, we don't have to do it by ourselves anymore. You
Right.
know, we got people who are, you know, supportive now. We have people who are in the right positions, you know, and, you know, who can put us in, you know, and help us fulfill our mission and our vision.
Right. I
You know?
agree.
I've been telling my engineer Brian Ruiz that I want to put a talent show together. You know, like I just think that we need that because we have so much talent in so many different levels. You know, and you know, lowriders is one of them. You know, is one of the elements to our culture and, you know, the creativity that that we practice and we display in everyday life.
Yeah, Martina Guzman, I don't know what she does now, but she used to work, when I met her a few years ago, she was with WDET, and they did a piece on rolling canvases. And she came to Southwest and talked to Victor Villalobos, which I've known Victor for a long time. He actually started the Blessing of the Lowriders back in the day. And
What was his name?
Victor Villalobos.
That's my son's name.
Is it?
Victor Oh no, his name's Victor Niño. My bad. Damn. God damn.
And so anyway, he you know, that Martina was asking you know, where the ladies, you know, where the women are, and she, you know, Victor said, this is how the name of the film got to be. Victor said there's only one, and she's the queen, as Debbie Sanchez. So he put me in touch with her, and she came and did an interview with me, and she said I could listen to your stories all day, and she was so nice, and you know, did the interview was very good, and she said you should write a book. I said, about what? She said, your life, your story, you know, and I was like, okay. But I didn't look at it like that, you know. I like I said, I love who I am and I love what I do, and that's how the Queen of the Lowriders came, was from her and Victor, and
Okay.
I did not give myself that name.
So what was life like growing up for you? What were your parents like? What is it that they taught you? You know, on this show I always ask people, you know, to share a part of their journey, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly, past, present, future, you know, and you know, it's not always easy for everybody to share, but for me it's always been about educational purposes, because you never know when your story could be somebody else's, you know, guidance, you know, for, you know, they could be going through something and just lost, might not have anybody to turn to, but they're watching the El Niño podcast, they want to hear your story, and then all of a sudden a light bulb comes on because of something that you shared, you know.
Well, I grew up with a single mom, and it was just me and my two sisters, and we didn't have a lot, and I was kind of the black sheep of the family, so to say. I didn't do anything bad, but I didn't want to, you know, like adhere to, because my mom was kind of strict, and I just always fought her on it, and I think I've been a rebel all my life, and still do it, and I just, you know, I didn't. Was good. It was good, but it, you know, growing up without a father was not good. You know, and it was difficult. And
What happened to your father, if you don't mind me asking?
he, I don't know. I don't know the whole story on it. I knew who he was, but he was never around. And my mom raised us by herself. You know, she worked and did waitress work, and she worked hard, and we didn't have a lot, but our house was clean. We had nice clothes, and you know, I vowed that when I started having my own kids, that I was going to change a lot of things so that my daughters would have more than I did, and so that was the goal, you know, for them to have more than I did.
Do you have grandkids?
Mm-hmm. You have three daughters and 3 granddaughters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of women.
Yeah, a lot of estrogen.
A lot of female warriors.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, Olivia, the one
you
with
guys
the
keep the world turning. That's for sure.
Olivia, my daughter, that's you know, with the she's the one that has the Bel Air. Monica, my oldest one, she just had brain surgery, and we're doing a fundraiser for her actually at DHDC on the 25th.
Okay.
Because she's struggling, you know, and we want to help her. And
what happened?
she kept getting she has a disease called hydrocephalus, and she keeps getting water keeps accumulating in her brain.
Wow.
So they had to go in and put a tube in there and a shunt, so that the water will when it starts accumulating, it'll automatically drain into her stomach.
Mm.
Yeah, so she's been dealing with that, and
yeah, we're gonna keep her in our prayers.
thank
man.
you. She's
That's gotta
her
be scary.
yeah. Her main goal, Monica's main goal, is she wants to buy a 70 Cadillac and juice it and ride with me and Olivia. That's what she wants to do. She's always wanted the 70 Cadillac, and she wants to put hydraulics on it. And I told her, I said, me and you and Olivia ride mother and 2 daughters. That's going to go viral.
What are some of the lessons that your mother taught you that stuck with you that you actually practice to today? Is your mother still with us?
No.
Okay.
No, she's been gone for a while.
Okay.
I don't know. She, like, my mom, she worked hard, and she did waitress work, and she was tired. I used to clean house, you know, make sure the house was clean, and keep everybody quiet, you know, so she could sleep when she came home, because she started like 5 in the morning. And I guess that's what she taught me, was responsibility, and you know, just to be disciplined, you know. I would say that.
Did you ever do waitress work?
Sure did.
That is not an easy job.
No.
Not an easy job. My wife, you know, her, my stepdaughter, my sister-in-law, they all work at the airport, and I'll tell you what, man. And my wife, she don't even write nothing down. She memorizes everything. I couldn't even do nothing like that. You said minus onions and what, and who, mustard and ketchup, what? Your whole order be messed up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I did it for a while, but that I knew that that's not what I wanted to do, because I saw my mom, you know, her feet were always tired, and, you know, from standing on them all day. I knew that that wasn't what I wanted to do, but I did do it. Yeah, I did. I just didn't. That wasn't my life. It was my mom's, but it wasn't my life.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I mean, our parents always want better for us. You know, they do what they need to do to get by and, you know, survive to the best of their ability. But, you know, even my father, you know, before he passed away, he always told me that he always prayed that I would never have to work, you know, as hard as he did. And he was a construction worker. Like, he was a hard laborer. He used to work hard. He always had calluses on his hands. And he's like, you know, I would love to see you work, you know, with the tie behind the desk. And, you know, when I got out of prison 90 days later, I got a job. I had my own desk in the office. And it was like God heard my father's prayers, you know, and all the prayers that were prayed from me, from family, friends, my grandparents, like, you know, God heard them, you know, and they're manifesting in my life today.
God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's God's blessings, man. It's God's blessings.
Definitely. I tell people, you like, I have more now than I ever had in my life. And, you know, before I thought the only way I was ever going to have anything was, you know, either I was going to sell drugs and get it, or I was going to hit some big lick one day. And, you know, but now it's like, you know, you got to work, you got to grind, you got to make sacrifices, and you just, you know, you hustle. And hustle doesn't necessarily mean that you're on the street selling drugs, you know.
No.
And I mean, it's just the grind, you know what I mean? It's the grind. I'm selling hoodies, I'm selling t-shirts, I'm you know, I'm out there networking. Shit, I'm trying to find a grant that I can, you know, that I can you know, qualify for or something. But you know, more than anything, you know, I work hard. You know, I got 2 jobs. I work in Greektown with Ceasefire. You know, I work adult resources at the DHDC. Like DHDC, that's my headquarters. That's home. That's where I've been able to build a life for myself. You know,
and I love what they stand for, you know, because they take care of the children of Southwest, and that's why I contribute the things that I contribute, because I believe in what they do. Because the children, you know, Lex had said, you know, Deb, I want to give you a shout out, you know, on our social media, and I told him, I said no, and he said, why not? I said, because if those babies think that you did all that stuff for them, let them think that. I don't want no pat on the back. And we donated, the lowriders actually, Ruben and Rollers Only, he's the president of Rollers Only. We had the lowrider Christmas party there. Lex said it was over $5,000 worth of toys that were donated for the children of Southwest.
Man, listen,
and that was from the lowriders and their friends
that
and
the
families.
Lowriders donated to DA. I mean, damn near filled the whole corner of the building. I was like, wow. As an adult, I was amazed, like, wow. I'm looking like, damn, see something I like up in there, you know, but...
Yeah, it was Ruben and Rollers Only. They started
They donated this, and I was like, man, that's so wonderful.
Yeah, it was a lot of other people, too. The lowriders were... And Dedication Car Club, they had chapters from different states, like Indiana and stuff, come and donate food. I mean, donate the toys. So it was a collaboration, and... it was awesome. I was blown away by it, you know, and the lowriders stepped up, and it was a lot of friends and family that stepped up as well. And but the lowriders played a big part in it, and I know it was Dedication. If I'm missing a car club, I'm sorry, because I don't remember, but I know Rollers Only, Ruben, and Dedication. They did a lot.
I'll tell you what, it was an amazing Christmas for them kids. We appreciate everything you do, they do.
Thank you.
I love and I respect and I admire the DHDC, Angie Reyes, her whole family, all the staff, because everybody there put in work. Everybody's there doing their part.
Yep.
And the thing about our agency is that we have the trust of the community. The community trusts us. They need us. They rely on us. They love us, you know what I mean? And we love them. Every day I wake up and pour a part of myself into my job, into my people, into my community in one form or another.
That's awesome.
And I love it. Our you know, the DHCC is built on integrity, it's built on love, it's built on purpose, you know what I mean? And me just I'm driven by redemption, you know, wanting to, you know, every day right my wrongs, you know. Every day just choosing to be righteous and to do the right thing, because you literally have to choose that every day. Because I tell people all the time, the devil don't take no breaks. He comes in many different forms. He comes in a form of a sheep, you know, hidden, you know, a wolf in sheep clothing, you know. And so you have to choose to be righteous every day. And that's what the DHDC does. And just the response, the participation, you know, that we get from the community, you know, just really stands out, you know.
I don't, you know how I got involved with DHCC? It was Jose Salas. God rest his soul.
God rest his soul. For sure.
He was the reason that I got involved, and I miss Jose immensely, because he was a lowrider back in the day too.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, that guy was a DJ, a lowrider,
a
pimp,
he was a lowrider.
Everything. Boy, Mac Daddy, Jose.
Yeah, Jose was a lowrider.
Man, I'll tell you what. I think I'm pretty fly. When I go to work, I used to be fresh. But if it was anybody giving me a run for my money, it was Jose. That boy used to come in with hats and jerseys and shirts and shoes.
It's always smelled good. He always smelled good.
Sweet as hell.
Yeah, always had cologne on. And he used to text me, you know, randomly and say, "You good?" And I would text him back, "What's good?" And he was like, "I hate when you say what's good." I said, "You just said what are you good?" Yeah, I'm like, man. But I loved Jose, and he's the one that actually found that USA Today did a story on me. He's the one that found it, and so I
no, his presence is still very strong at the DHDC. His son LJ was just on my podcast not long ago. He's got his daughter Selena, and you know, I mean, his presence is just there always. His art is all over the agency, and you know, that guy. They always say your net worth is determined by your network, And that guy, he had a hell of a network.
Yeah,
you know,
he did. Everybody loved Jose.
I thought I had an awesome network, but that guy there,
Jose,
boy.
yeah. And you couldn't tell him no. You couldn't tell Jose no. Whatever he asked you to do, you just did it, you know. And
even with everything he struggled with, you know, the
Had the
diabetes.
help, yeah.
I mean, he was literally blind. He couldn't
Yeah.
even see.
that's why he had to
But
sell
you
the
couldn't even
lowrider.
tell because
No,
he was manifesting so much beautiful, positive energy every day.
that's why he sold the lowrider, because he lost his vision.
Mm-hmm.
But he used to talk about the
He lost
lowriders.
his vision, but he ain't lose his
No,
vision.
no,
You
no,
know?
no. He lost his, his eyesight got
Yeah.
bad, and he told me, he said, "Man, I hate that I couldn't drive anymore," you know. And I said, "Well, you should have had your son drive." And kept the lowrider. I don't know who got it, but I think it was I think it was a Cutlass. I want to say maybe a Regal, but it was a G body, and I'm sure Selena and them have pictures of it, and his daughter. But he was a lowrider, and he loved the culture. You know, he loved it. And when we first started filming, that was the first at their show down there. That Graphs and something. That's where we first started filming, was at Jose's show.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does the future look like for you, for the lowrider community here in Southwest Detroit? Like, what's the next move? Is it, networking out of state? Is it improving, evolving here in Detroit? Or are we just networking with all Michigan? Or, like, what are we doing?
Well, a lot of people won't travel. It depends, where they want to travel to, how big the show is. But Michigan, I think what Ruben's trying to do, I love what Ruben does, bringing people together, the lowriders together, because we have such a long hibernation, so to say, the wintertime, and when we have to go to put the cars away, we try to keep together as much as we can. But I think what Ruben's goal is I could be speaking wrong, but I think he wants to continue on with Friday Night Flex next year and see if we can get more and more people together, because a lot of people come out that are not lowriders, but they still come out, and they got nice old schools, and I say, you don't have to be a lowrider to come into Friday Night Flex, and it's got its own name, it's got a reputation now, and I want him to continue it on so that the community will get bigger, and hang out more in Southwest.
So when you participate in these festivals, events, and all that stuff, is there a fee? If somebody says, "Hey, we want lowriders at our event," what's the fee?
Sometimes the only time there's a fee is at a show, like at one. Sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on who's putting on the show, what the criteria is. Most of the time they're not. You don't pay, but sometimes you do. There's an entry fee, maybe $25, $20. It just depends on the event. It really does.
Okay, that's cool. It's good to know. Like I said, I'm thinking about a talent show. Maybe, sometime next year. I'm going to have to save my money up. But, it's something that I would love to have. And I would love to have you and the lowriders present,
Okay.
just because, you guys are, have your own element. And it's part of the culture and everything. I mean, it's talent, it's talent, it's skill, it's culture, it's all that good stuff.
And the lowriders, your vehicle is your signature. That's what it is. Each vehicle represents the owner's taste, likes, whatever his favorite thing is. Like I saw a lowrider at the show yesterday. I want to say it was from Indiana, a red Impala, nice. Wow. And he had the Mexican eagle, but for the center of the Mexican flag.
Yeah.
He had that on the roof of the car.
Wow.
It depends on the owner, and what their taste is, and I tell people all the time, your car is your every day is your signature. The one you drive every day, that's your signature too. Your car is your signature. It tells people who you are.
Absolutely. So before we close out, Debbie, let them know where they can find you, where they can reach you, who you are, where you're from. You know what I mean?
Debbie Sanchez, Southwest Detroit. You can hit me up on social media. Debbie Sanchez. My car is my lowrider is my profile picture, candy orange. You can also check out the trailers that we have on YouTube, Queen of the Lowriders, and we're going to be doing some other stuff that you'll be hearing about soon enough.
Man, listen, I'll see everybody next week at 9 p.m. every Monday. We got my man Southwest Hob coming up with a cold performance. Debbie, thank you so much for coming, for sharing your story, for sharing your heart, for sharing your culture, everything with us. It was a privilege to have you here, blessing the studio.
Thank you.
And I look forward to, networking with you in the future.
Of course. Thank you.
We'll see you guys next week, man. Much love, everybody. Be safe.